Hello, I am Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. That is not a government function. This is a personal ministry. I can change the world with your support to paradise. This means basically that the breath of life that is in each of us as humans, I refer to as God. So I say the God that is in me can change the world with the support of the God that is within you. In God's plan of creation, where humans are concerned, this Father prepared that all humans living should participate in life and life's process. Every human, in receiving the breath of life, also received a career objective, a purpose. That objective and purpose is to ensure that each one would participate in providing to the human experience that gift which comes from the Maker in satisfying the inalienable needs, want, and desire of the people. Through this process of participation, every person plays a part in all that is created or produced and are part owners, entitling them to receive from this production whatever each one need, want, and desire. It is a fact that no human owns anything. They bring nothing into this world when they come, and they take nothing away when they leave. Everything in the earth, on the earth, and above the earth belongs to the one that provided it. This process was used so that no one could claim land as their own, or the minerals in the earth, or oil, or iron, diamonds, gold, silver, or grass, trees, fruits, vegetables, or animals, electricity, gas, water, or air. Again, these substances and many others were provided so that the various career goals and objectives instilled in the minds of people would cause a human process of creating from these that which the people, all of them, determined are needed, wanted, and desired from their human experience. No career objective is more or less important than another. No human is more or less important than another. No nation is more or less important than another. It is the duty and the responsibility of each human to preserve these standards and protect each other from any deception that would lead away from this reality. Any conclusion that takes away from this leads to pain, to suffering, to poverty, to crime, to violence, to terrorism and war. And anyone claiming to understand God will be identified by their resistance to such outcome and totally commitment to end in this existence. Clothing and shelter, for which every human need, as well as want and desire. God has provided all materials necessary for these clothing and shelter to meet the needs, the wants, and the desires of all the people. God has prepared for a workforce that will find joy in establishing an abundance of such that none are without such need, desire, or want ever being met Every material resource available today for the making of clothing, beginning with the leaf to the most recent design and material, has been provided for by God, including the knowledge. The need is there, materials there, the know-how is there, and the labor. And these are the only prerequisites necessary to produce shelter and clothing. The same process is also used when building all that is built. Everything that builders require has been placed here in the earth, on the earth, and above the earth. The knowledge has also been instilled in the human spirit of those expressing a love and passion to build. From cages, dens, tents, other shelters, houses, schools, banks, bridges, highways, ships, planes, rockets, reservoirs, canals, plants, guns, and bombs. Here, need exists, want as well as desire, materials are available, and the labor. And these are the only necessary requirements to establish an abundance satisfactory to the demand. God has a process whereby the gifts and talents instilled in individuals that allow them to be expressed naturally can also be salvaged in such a way that it can be shared throughout generations. The form is education. Education that is made available to others that lacks passion but have desires to be better at that which strengthens their calling. Education for those that desire change in their career and ambitions, as well as education that prepare one to communicate across and around any barriers. Education that is commonly required for each career, or simple communication with each other. Here, the need, want, and desire exist. That which is necessary to meet the demand exists, including materials and labor, which are the prerequisites to do so in an abundance, allowing none to suffer lack. Healthcare. It has been said that when humans were first put on earth, they were capable to wield healing of any bodily ailment. If this is so or not, God has prepared that the process might be enhanced by medical knowledge to facilitate prevention and healing. Research, study, development of new and better treatment are tools used to meet the constant demand and changes due to new problems, and knowledge as well as hunger to succeed and overcome the challenge have been provided for through this process designed by God. The knowledge, education, and personnel available, the infrastructure of physical facilities and staffing sufficient to meet the needs, desire, and wants of physical ailing populations are designed to be met according to God's plan. God's plan calls for the elimination of all sicknesses and diseases through the process of health care. The need exists, the knowledge is available, though requiring more research for some. The profession is opened to receive all applicants. God's plan calls for the availability of successful health care for all in need who want or desire. It is God's plan that every American and every human being on earth experience peace, prosperity, and joy, which includes food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care, which are common requirements of every human and are referred to as inalienable rights. Everyone requires them. The process allows for every requirement to be met, and the role of the people in guaranteeing to themselves these inalienable rights are to treat each other as they themselves desire to be treated and resist any action that interferes or prevents such action. The reason that this process is denied is because the human population do not have a relationship with God. As a consequence, the state, its institutions, and its religions do not serve God, but rather the goals and aspirations of those that dishonor God by placing themselves in the position of God. They claim to be superior, smarter, more entitled, and deserving than all others, and are willing to destroy or kill any opposition or opposers. 95% of the human population has never heard of God's process. 95% of church leaders use scripts that deny God and glorify man by making and teaching of God in the image of man. For instance, they teach that the way out of poverty is through tithing, knowing that this process works only for those collecting the tithes or receiving the seeds. They have been successful in this scam by painting that scary picture of God as 100% more vicious than evil, heartless man. I have given you just a taste of God's plan for the human race. And when I say that I can change the world with your support to paradise, it's simply true. The question is, will you support God's plan or continue to support the plan that you are supporting? Thank you very much.